Brothers and sisters, welcome to the three-time award-winning audio podcast channel, Duke Loves Rasslin. We are the exclusive home of the Devon The Duke Podcast, featuring WWE Hall of Famer Devon Dudley, and of course, our flagship interview show, Duke Loves Rasslin. We're bringing you the informative, hilarious, and enjoyable episodes each and every week. Subscribe, like, and share with everyone you know so you don't miss a single episode. Duke Loves Rasslin, available wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify. That's right.
Devon and the Duke bring the heat. Wrestling tales knock you off your seat. Tune in now, don't you be late. Wrestling podcast never felt this great. Tables, ladders, chairs, they tell it all. From the highest highs to the lowest fall. Great and glory tales from the ring. Every chant, every cheer they'll bring. Devon and the Duke bring the heat. Wrestling tales knock you off your seat. Tune in now, don't you be late. Wrestling podcast never felt this great.
Brothers and sisters, welcome back. Welcome back to a historic episode of the Devon The Duke Podcast. We are the three-time award-winning limited edition podcast hosted by your main man, Duke Loves Rasslin. And of course, the five-time Hall of Famer, the native New Yorker who will always have NYC in his heart, the man who can now claim that as a fan, he is officially a champion, Brother Devon Dudley. Congratulations, my brother.
Well, congratulations to the New York Knicks. And I mean, I couldn't have been more proud of a team. You know, and people that might have heard me say this on the show before, you know, I basically left the Knicks in 2001 when they traded Patrick Ewing. I was upset about that. And me not knowing the logistics that goes on behind the scenes, you know, in terms of, you know, the trades and all of that. Maybe Ewing wanted to leave. I don't know. But I know I was upset when I found out about it. And I was like, you know what? Forget the Knicks. Because I was so invested in the team during the Patrick Ewing and John Starks era, when Doc Rivers was there, when Oakley was there, you know, the 90 Knicks. And to be let down every year, especially when they made it to the finals and they lost against Houston, and then to trade Ewing, I was like, you know what? I'm done. So I went to LA because I loved Kobe. Was a big fan of Kobe. And I didn't appreciate Jordan until after he retired because, you know, Jordan was the reason why the Knicks never really got a ring and never made it to the finals. So I was always upset at Jordan. But then, you know, after I was playing, I think it was NBA 2K, and enjoying it, I would always play with the Chicago Bulls, the 96, 97 Chicago Bulls. And then from there, I became a Jordan fan. But I started coming back to the Knicks little by little. I was always hoping they would win or do something. And again, they never really did. Did they make it to the finals in 1999?
Yes, they lost to the they lost to the Houston Rockets in 94, but you're asking about 99. Ooh.
Because that's what I keep hearing. Some people say, yeah, you know, like I hear the sports guys say, you know, they were, you know, the last time they were there were in 99. I was like, I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. Maybe I was out of touch with basketball at the time because I was traveling so much with WWE, but I would have known that. It would have been, you know, all over. I don't know.
It was you're absolutely right. It was the 99 finals. Patrick Ewing was it was the Knicks versus the Spurs.
How come I don't remember that?
Yeah, it was the Knicks versus the Spurs. Patrick Ewing was he did not play in that series. Oh, did he? Yeah, I don't think he played in that series. But it was the Knicks versus Spurs because the Knicks beat the Pacers en route to that. They beat them 4-2.
Where the hell was I in '99?
That's good. That's a good question.
Well, I know my grandmother passed in February of that year, so I might have just blocked off everything during that time because that was my heart. My grandmother was my heart, and I know I went into a deep depression during that time, so that's probably why I don't remember. But I don't remember at all.
Let me jog your memory. I'm gonna give you the entire lineup that played that was the Knicks for that series. Right? You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
So Patrick Ewing was injured, so he didn't play in the series. But we're gonna start at Rick Brunson. So
Okay.
that's Brunson's father there, who just won, Jalen. So Rick Brunson was on the team. Marcus Camby.
Yep, I remember Camby.
So Camby played both forward and center. Brunson was a guard. Chris Childs was a guard. He was a starting guard. Chris
Chris
Childs.
Charles. Yeah, I remember Chris.
Ben Davis was a forward. Chris Dudley. You remember Chris Dudley? Skinny
I
white
remember.
guy, hairy chest.
Yeah, they they basically played on Instagram when Shaq got the ball and slammed it in the thing, and then I guess Chris was holding on so he wouldn't fall, and
Yes.
Shaq just pushed him off of
Pushed
him.
him.
Just
I
pushed him.
remember that.
Dudley got mad, threw the basketball at him, but Shaq was already down the freaking court already, and
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
furious with that. Yeah, I remember Dudley.
Yeah, Dudley. I mean, the fact that he launched that ball at Shaq though, that showed he got some cojones. So shout out to
Oh yeah,
Chris Dudley. Allen Houston, which is another
Allen
guard.
Houston. He was
Yep.
very good at the 3-point line, but wasn't consistent, but very good.
Yeah, yeah, and he's one of the top players on the team. Like you said, Grandmama Larry Johnson, he was on
Yep.
that team, one of the forwards. Latrell Sprewell, he
Yeah.
he played the three and the four. Excuse me, no, he played 2 and 3. So he played shooting guard and he played small forward on that team. Uh, Kurt Thomas, you remember Kurt Thomas? He was a forward,
Absolutely.
dirty player, dirty. He was kind of down and dirty, rough elbows, all that. Charlie
It could,
Ward.
hold on. It couldn't have been
Uh-oh.
as bad as Rick Mahorn
Sure.
and Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, yeah.
And who was
This
the
is
other
years
one?
later.
Who was the other one that was on the bad boy team? The white guy, Bill Lambert.
Bill Laimbeer, yeah, of course. Of
But
course.
then now, what takes the cake is Wemby. Wemby. He's now considered one of the dirtiest players. For a
Oh,
guy
we're
to
gonna
be
get there.
7'6", but
Yeah.
no size on him whatsoever. But yet he's elbowing people, pushing them. And 22 years old, I'm surprised one of them older guys didn't knock him in the mouth. But
They all afraid. They're afraid.
I don't know if they're afraid. I got to look at it this way. Get mad, say your piece, but don't swing. Because if you swing, you're eliminated.
Yeah.
You're gone. And all that
Yeah.
does is hurt the team. There was a couple of times where Wemby did, and they kind of went after him in a sense. And I was like, no. Don't do that. Leave that man alone. Stop. No, get away because we can't afford to lose anybody on that bench. You have to maintain your composure and make sure that you're still around to help out the team. So I'm glad everybody got their brains right and didn't swing because there's no telling what the outcome could have been if that would have happened because everybody contributed off that bench.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me finish this part first, though, with that team
Sure.
there. Kurt Thomas, I said. Charlie Ward, who was a
Charlie Ward,
point
I
guard.
remember. Yep, I remember
Yep.
him.
Cadillac, Herb Williams. You remember
Yep.
Cadillac,
I
forward
was just
center.
I was just talking about him.
Yep. Yep. And then you have David Wingate, which you may not remember David Wingate. He was a guard who also played forward, some small forward sometimes. But that was that
Okay,
team.
yeah. I
Now,
don't, I don't know why I don't recall that at all.
Yeah. But listen to this, though. They went up against Antonio Daniels, Tim Duncan, Mario Ellie, Sean Elliott, Andrew Gaze, Jaren Jackson, Avery Johnson, Steve Kerr, Jerome Kersey, Gerard King, Will Purdue, of all people, Will Purdue, David Robinson, Malik Rose, and Brandon Williams. So that was David Robinson's last ring. That was his last ring right there.
Hmm. Well, at
That was
least he
that
got
year.
one
Yeah,
because
yeah,
Patrick didn't get
exactly.
one. Patrick didn't get
Nope.
one when he played. A lot of people didn't get it because when they played because of Jordan.
Yeah, but Tim Duncan stole this championship away from the Knicks though. That was young Tim Duncan. That was
Right.
young Tim Duncan coming in. I think the year before the Spurs were like one of the worst teams in the league, which is how they were able to get the lottery pick to get Tim Duncan, and then they won that championship that year.
Okay.
That's what happened there. But fast forward to this year, like you said, the Knicks uh, busted their butt. It's clear that Brunson is just amazing. He had a will to win that could not be broken. Um, I do want to say this before you give your further analysis. Uh, Wemby, I told you what would happen. I told you that if you did not win, and you certainly did everything you could, you shot the ball, you rebounded the ball, you were beating people up, you were the dirtiest player in the game,
Yeah, but he also
and
choked.
well, that's the thing. You still lost. So Wemby, you bring your 2 foot taller than me self to Boston.
I say 4 feet, but go ahead.
Well, that's debatable, depending on the size of his shoes and mine. You bring yourself to Boston, and we're going to settle this. Like I told you, okay? I already have PJ Ramos, who's been feeding me Puerto Rican food. I've been listening to Puerto Rican music. I've been wearing those shoes that make you jump higher. I'm ready for you, Wemby. Bring your tall self here so the Duke can dunk on you. Okay? All right. Now, back to the regularly scheduled programming here.
Now, hold on. Now, when you say dunk on him, you don't mean those little basketball courts that my 7-year-old play on, right? With the little, but you don't mean that type of. I just want to make sure we're talking regulation. I just want to make sure we're on the same page here.
Why are you messing up my plan? You know the boy can't get that low. That's how I was going to do it. You messing me up here, Devon. Damn.
Listen, if that man stands in front of that basketball court, I don't think you're getting anywhere near it.
I was going to get the little mini hoop and just dunk on him there because he can't reach that low down. Come on now. Damn.
I mean,
Messing
that's
me up.
true. That's true. So you might have a 2% chance. I'll give you.
Like I said last week, I'm going to turn you into a believer. Okay, people were cracking up at that. They were like, "Wow, I thought Devon really was going your way, and then he turned on you." I said, "Yeah, this is what this guy does. I don't know what his problem is." You know,
Listen, if you can prove to me that you can take on Cody Rose and beat him, then I might come into a believer that you have a chance against Wemby. That's all I'm gonna say.
listen, I got the whole world calling Cody Rhodes out because he's an egg sucking dog. People are saying that they're getting sick and tired, including a good friend of both of ours, Eric Bischoff, saying they're tired of babyface Cody. It's stale. It doesn't make sense. We all know that he's a jerk. We all know he thinks he's a big shot. We all know that he's a nightmare. So why do we have to pretend like he's a good guy? He's not a good guy. He's not a good guy. Cody Rhodes is a bad guy, and I'm going to expose him.
Hmm. Like I said, I put my house up for that one. I want to see that one.
Well, listen, I got a secret weapon now. See, here's what you don't know. Back when uh, uh, Dusty Rhodes created his own company and he was promoting his own matches. What do they call it? Turnbuckle, whatever they call that promotion there.
Something
Uh,
like that.
he he brought in the legend that we talked about before, Leilani Kai. So Leilani has known Cody since he was a young man, helping his daddy in his promotion. And I have Leilani Kai on the record on Duke Loves Rasslin admitting that not only will she accompany me to the ring with you, by the way, I said you're going to be there too, damn it. Not only will she accompany the Duke to the ring, but she will interfere in the match to ensure that the Duke gets a victory. Leilani Kai, she co-headlined at WrestleMania before, okay? Leilani Kai said she would do that for the Duke. Now tell me again, Devon, that you don't have my back.
I'm just gonna say that my thing is, if this does happen, I want to be sitting front row with the popcorn. That's all. Extra butter on top of that.
Now, how
That'll
tall is Cody? Cody's what, 6'1" or so?
about 6'1", maybe 6'2".
So I got a problem with him too, because he's taller than me too. You realize this, right? I got a problem with him too, beyond everything else. Okay? So you're starting to see a pattern here. All right?
Listen, all I'm gonna say to you is maybe if you can get in touch with Dan Housen, have him do a curse, and you might have a chance.
There it is. There it is.
Let Dan do the curse, and you might have a chance. Look at what happened in San Antonio.
That's right. That's right. See, Dan Housen, hit your boy the Duke up. We're going to put a curse on Cody Rhodes, that egg-sucking dog, that Ric Flair wannabe that would have turned on his daddy, okay? He would have turned on his daddy in line with the Four Horsemen. Okay, Dan Housen, I need you to put a curse on Cody Rhodes so the Duke can defeat him, and I'll show my brother Devon that the Duke can find a way. All right? I'll find a way.
I gave you an out, but why do you need the out? Because, you shouldn't need one, especially if they're talking like that.
Hey. Don't mess up the groove now. We were going in a good direction. Don't mess it up now. Come on now.
Listen, I'm just saying.
Listen, this Danhausen stuff is catching on, though. I am so shocked. And I want to go on the record and point out that I was never a Danhausen fan. I thought it was ridiculous. All these little, all that, whatever the hell that is, weird noises that he makes that makes CM Punk laugh. I just thought he was a goofball. As soon as the guy gets put on ESPN because of the WWE, suddenly he turns into one of the biggest celebrities in the world.
I think, Duke, it started before ESPN. Here's the deal. The WWE went back to its roots with a character like this. Because remember, they weren't doing stuff like this before. And I remember when he made his debut, people were like a little bit of because they weren't sure. It was almost like the Thanksgiving thing that they did with the gobbledygooker. I think
that
people
we still talk about.
Yeah, and people were exactly, and people were still talking about that. So I don't know. It was kind of like I remember watching it and going, this guy's gonna get over big. This guy's gonna, because this is what the WWE was known for. Now, if they go any direction with a character, that's one way that they know how to do it and get that character over. Because Vince did wonders with that. Even though Vince is not in charge, Vince knew exactly how to get that character over. Would have known exactly how to get that character over and would have played to it because it's more for the kids than anything. And that's what pretty much got over. Because I remember when he was in AEW and he was at autograph signings next to me, he wasn't getting the crowd. He was barely having a line. Now I'm sure his line is out the door.
Yeah.
Now I'm sure it's ridiculous. Because, again, the WWE knows how to get characters like that over, where AEW doesn't. And that's not knocking AEW, but that's not AEW's forte. Their thing is wrestling. Whether it comes from Mexico, Japan, or the United States, of course, the wrestlers here, but they pride themselves like WCW did. We wrestle. This is where the big boys play, is what WCW used to say. Because at that time, remember, WWF was still in the character mode before we transferred over to the Attitude Era. Once we transferred over, then it was a even playing field that they had with WCW. But they know how to get characters like that over. That's the key.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. And again, I tip my hat to Danhausen. You have made a believer out of me. I see the value. I see that you are a dynamic person because it's one thing for the WWE machine to be behind you, but you got to deliver. And the fact that you have consistently delivered, you got real celebrities and real stars out there that are just completely enamored by you. Uh, good job, bro. Like seriously, good job. I give you a lot of credit for that, man. You
Excellent.
know,
I mean, I'm a big fan of his. I love the character. I love his work when he does because he adds. Listen, it's pro wrestling. My opinion. Like the character, you love the character, you love the promos that he does. It's funny, it's entertaining. Nowadays, and this is just my thinking and my philosophy on it, is that I miss those days when the promos didn't hit home, so to speak. In other words, we're not talking about our wives or personal matters. And now I just feel like they just bring that a lot in promos. And it's like, whoa, that's a little deep for me. I don't know if they should have went that route. But again, this is what we conditioned the fans to like and love. And now I don't know if we can turn back. I was just talking to somebody at the autograph signing I was at in Shreveport, Texas, that I don't think we'll ever be able to go back to the days of wrestling back during the Attitude Era and the Hogan and Andre era and the Dusty and Flair era. I think we're just too far gone. And although if we went back to that and conditioned the fans to embrace that type of wrestling and the way they did things back then, it would be a hard sell.
yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that you're going to have to really put some effort. It'll probably take a couple of years to dial it back and go much further back into the entertainment aspect. Because Danhausen is a modern version of Doink the Clown. Um,
Yes.
you know what I mean? And it's feel good. It makes sense. I know Doink originally was supposed to be an evil character, but they eventually turned Doink into what it should have been, which is something that kids could enjoy. And I think that's what it comes down to with Danhausen. It's lighthearted, it's fun. Why not? So I love that. As opposed to, and I'm not saying that this is a bad thing because we still enjoy these moments, Jacob Fatu beat the daylights out of comedian Eric Andre. I mean, he beat the hell out of him the other night. You know, Eric is a big wrestling fan, big WWE fan, and he was there at Raw. And Jacob snatched him up, threw him in the ring, beat him up real bad. He did the Samoan splash on him, all kind of stuff. And it's going viral because this is a big time, modern comedian and what have you. It's just like that edginess still has a place, but you got to have the Danhausen stuff in there to balance it as well. Is that fair?
That might be fair, but I also, when I saw, um, Roman stop and talk to him, and then I know Jay looked at him and then just walked away. Something said something's gonna happen.
Mm.
Then Jimmy gave him, the pound and the hug and brought him in. And I was saying to myself right before Jacob passed him, if there's anybody that will go and throw his body in the ring and do crazy things, it's him, because he's known for doing stuff like that. He's known for getting his ass beat and looking great and doing it. And then when he touched the thing around Jacob's neck, and then it was hitting him, I was like, yeah, he's about to get his ass whooped. And sure enough, if he didn't bring him over that railing the way he did, he brought him over that railing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he beat the crap out of the way he threw him in the ring. And I was like, yep. Because again, if you ever watched him and his stuff, he's always getting his ass beat.
Sure.
He's always,
He's
and
built for it.
either that or he's always running around with his pants down. He don't care to show his stuff. He just, but and it's entertaining to a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, that style of comedy it's not for everybody, but it is for somebody. But
Right.
seeing him get beat up by Jacob was perfect. It was just perfect. you know,
Yeah.
because it does show how vicious Jacob can be, and I love that. You know,
Well, you remember that YouTube video that went viral where he was outside the ring and this country boy thought he was tough, big, cornbread country boy thought he was tough and tried to jump in Jacob's face. And Jacob launched him into the back rows with
yep,
this push when he tried to jump into Jacob's face. And, a lot of people don't get, you don't mess with those Samoans. Those Samoans will kill you. You don't mess with them. Not to mention just wrestlers in general, not just Samoans, but a lot of wrestlers in general. You just don't mess with them. A lot of people just think that we can't fight or wrestle. I'm like, you don't understand. We're letting people do to us what normally wouldn't be let done. And for us to be able to know that we're going to feel a certain amount of pain and still get back up like Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers with not an issue, not a problem, that has to tell you we're not well in the head.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100% on that. Absolutely right. And especially, guys like you and Jacob, like the real big guys that like folks, look at Devon Dudley's forehead. If a man can have that kind of scar tissue on his forehead, I don't even want to know what he would do to my forehead. I'm gonna leave his ass alone. It's like
I
I
mean,
don't
there
want no
were
part
people,
of that.
ECW, this was the era of people having courage and thinking they could, whatever to anybody. And when they tried to jump that railing with me and Bubba, they got a rude awakening.
I bet. Yeah.
I mean, I'm older now. I don't believe in all that fighting and crap carrying on in public. I don't do that. I'd rather buy you a beer and let's sit down and talk and tell me why you're so angry. I'm not that type of guy. I'm not young like that and foolish to want to really go out there and put hands on people. I don't like to do that. I'd rather talk first before, unless you come at me in a defensive way, then yes, then there's going to be an issue. But other than that, I just don't see why people even try to attempt to do it.
I agree. I agree. And listen, I'm not a big hulking badass like you with the scar tissue, what have you. So I got to find more creative ways to impose my will. The World Cup is here in Boston right now, and we had the Haiti versus Scotland match, which was a big deal. And the amount of Scottish people that have come to Boston and they're all wearing their kilts is tremendous. And Devon, all these guys are huge. They're your size and bigger. So I've already let them know that they're going to back me up whenever I need things to get done. So I'm just putting it out there to everybody. Don't think you're going to make moves because I got my Scottish people to back me up now, and they're all the size of Drew McIntyre. So don't play games. I'm just going to put
So
that
you
out
better
there.
you
Don't play
you
games.
better pray and hope that they're there with you and Cody.
Listen. I'm trying to get them. I'm trying to make sure that they're on retainer, so I can call them up when Cody wants to jump. You want to jump? You feel like you a frog? Come on, frog, jump! All right. I'm just going to say that. Anyway, speaking of jumping, Obafemi has made it to the finals of the King of the Ring, and he once again has called out Brock Lesnar. Now, Devon, you still owe Brock Lesnar a run-in where you're supposed to help him against Oba. I think we could just skip all the playing of the games. I've already contacted Oba and reminded him that he owes you an ass whooping. So the question is, do you want to do it at 6 p.m. tonight? Do you want to do it at 12 noon tomorrow? When do you want to go and meet up with Oba so we can just get this out of the way?
Well, when I meet up with Oba, I'm gonna buy him a beer. Hell, I might even give him some gummies.
Help him go
I'll
to
give
sleep
him.
and leave you alone.
I'll give him I'll give him a little bit from my stash.
The good stuff. Man, every time I see that dude look like he's getting bigger. That's a big dude, man. My God.
He's
That's
a
a
he's
big
a, he's a very big man, and I'm gonna tell you right now. He came down to my school. He worked out a little bit during the pandemic, and that man can move for a man his size. I was very impressed. Um, I don't think the WWE has fully tapped in on what he can do fully. What I and you really can't with him right now because unless it's with Brock Lesnar, there's nobody he can really bump for, like that, and to show how good he really is. Um, like if he was in there with Big Show, I could see that. Again, Brock, somebody that's more his size where he can bump on the first bump or do things that he wouldn't normally do with the average guy in WWE. He's a very, very talented big man. I don't think I've seen someone that talented in a big man since Bam Bam.
Yeah, yeah. That's a great call out. Yeah, he is a modern Bam Bam Bigelow. That's a
Yep.
great call out. He might be strong. I don't think might be. He's stronger than Bam Bam because
Yep.
he's built to be strong. Um, but boy, that's a great call out. Great
I
call
mean,
out.
you got to understand though, Bam Bam was a big man and he was very agile. He could move. And I'm not going to say he wasn't powerful because I'm sure he was, but his power wasn't the big deal back then for Bam Bam. It was how big he was and how he could move. That's what
Yeah,
really got people's attention back then.
yeah. I mean, a guy like that doing a damn cartwheel is ridiculous. I don't even know what to
Yeah.
do with that. It's like what?
I mean, and remember, he did it just about every time as a babyface.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he could do a one hand too. I've seen him do a one hand cartwheel. It's like,
Yeah,
damn,
Bam Bam was very talented.
yeah, yeah, yeah. God rest his soul. Shout out to Bam Bam Bigelow. He's still not in the Hall of Fame, is no? He is. He is. They put him in recently, didn't they?
I don't think he is.
That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Triple H, come on, man. We got to do something about that. Bam Bam Bigelow is one of the greatest big men of all time. He main evented. I mean, Jesus, he was on top with Hogan. Like it doesn't make any sense to not have Bam Bam Bigelow in the Hall of Fame now. Come on now, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not
That's
sure
crazy.
why. I'm not sure why.
Yeah,
Well, you got to understand too. There's a lot of people I'm not sure why. There's a lot of people
yeah.
that aren't in the Hall of Fame. I'm surprised I got in there before a lot of other people did. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Is Davy Boy Smith in the Hall of Fame?
The British Bulldog is yes, yes.
Who
Wait a
else?
second.
Who else am I thinking? Who's left? I can't remember off the top of
Well,
my head.
we talked about it. Leilani Kai is not in the Hall of Fame yet. Technically, she's not in it yet.
No, I think she is.
No,
Are
they
you?
haven't put her in yet. They
I
they
could
have
have
not
sworn
put her
she
in
had
yet.
a. I could have swore she had a ring at WrestleMania.
They gave her the Legends deal, which she's been under for over a year now. So it's very possible that she'll get in this year coming in 2027. But as of now, nope, she's not in the Hall of Fame,
Oh man.
and that's crazy.
Hmm.
Somebody of her caliber, that's crazy. You know
Oh, I know who
that
I
doesn't
was
make
thinking of.
sense.
Wendy Richter.
Yep, that's another one. That's another one.
No, she's
She's
in
got to be
there.
in the Hall of Fame. Yeah,
She's
yeah,
in
yeah.
there.
But Leilani's not. But Leilani is not, which is crazy. Because who made Wendy Richter? You know what I mean? You get somebody had to
Yeah.
wrestle her. Somebody had to
Well,
make
I
her look
think
good.
I think Leilani Kai and Moolah really helped make Wendy Richter. But again, we all know the story
Yeah,
behind Wendy and Moolah. She didn't like Moolah. Moolah didn't like her, and there was real bad blood there.
listen. Like on the old shows. I've been watching clips of the old shows, man. Like what's the show with J.R. Ewing? Dallas, right?
Violence.
Dallas.
I've been watching old clip. I can't believe that was on TV with some of his one-liners. Just amazing. But I bring that up to say this: Mula was quick to slap those women. And it's like one of them TV shows back then from the 70s and early 80s where they slapping each other all the damn time. Not a punch, a slap, which is more disrespectful. Mula slapped the hell out of Wendy Richter. It's like behind the scenes I'm talking. That's some crazy stuff, man.
Well,
That's some
back
crazy
then you were
stuff.
able to get away with. Back then you were able to get
Y-
away with that.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's
yeah.
funny, and
Unfortunately.
it's ironic how we don't know anything about those stories until we see like things like the Dark Side of the Ring and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. They kept it under wraps. Yeah, they kept it under wraps. It's true. Speaking of the dark side, I'm gonna build break build right now. When you give something positive, then you give the criticism, and then you end positive. I'm gonna build break build something right now. UFC Freedom 250. This was a historic card that happened at the White House of all places. I believe it's the first sporting event to ever happen actually at the White House and right there on the lawn. UFC was able to take over. They put on the best card they could possibly put on, with the exception of women's matches, which I'm very disappointed in. But in terms of the men, they put on the best card they could put on. Uh, UFC doesn't have any stars right now. They're lacking in star power, but they do have some solid fighters. So every match was a very good match for the most part. I watched it live. A couple of key takeaways. I thought it was interesting that one of the first fighters that came out to music that was in Spanish. And I thought that was ironic considering the current president of the United States and WWE Hall of Famer Donald Trump. Uh, he's not very nice to South America. So it was interesting that we had Spanish music to kick it off because legitimately, Spanish speaking people, that population is the fastest growing population in the country. So I don't give a damn who you are. You better get used to hearing uh, music in Spanish because it's only going to continue to grow. So I thought that was a proper representation of America. Um, so yeah, the fights were solid. Great card, especially if you're a fight fan. I will say that the ugly now. I'm gonna break now. Now that I've built, there was a low life scumbag bastard, Josh Hockett, who shockingly called Michelle Obama a man in a promo, which was just so distasteful and disgusting. You low life humanoid bastard, Josh Hockett. That's my opinion based on the facts. And I think that the Obamas might end up suing because that's defamation of character and what have you. You don't misgender the former First Lady of the United States of America and do so on such a huge platform. That is damaging. That is harmful. So
There's no respect.
no respect. And Dana White for his to credit to him, he immediately was mortified and expressed that that was unacceptable and yada yada yada. Let's see if he does anything about it. Um, Shame on Trump for not putting out a statement. I don't understand his I almost swore there. I don't understand his problem, but he should have
But
said
him,
something about that
but him calling Michelle Obama a man, why? What
because
was the need for that?
these are low class people, bro. These are low class humanoid idiots who you're at an event that's supposed to celebrate the nation, and you're putting on a sport that used to be called human cock fighting. MMA, Ultimate Fighting, the UFC, however you want to characterize it, is still pretty new in terms of not being outlawed throughout the country. And I remember those days because they weren't that far. Here in Boston, as far as recent as 2011 and 2012, we had the council president at the time, Steve Murphy, trying to stop them from even having an event at the Boston Garden at the time.
Well, there was a
So
lot of states when UFC first came out. UFC was getting banned left and right. You couldn't find
yeah,
that show
they had to
because
they
they
had to
thought it was too
perform on
barbaric.
reservations. They had to perform on
Yeah,
Indian reservations just to be certified, right?
yeah.
You know, so so It's disgraceful that this guy would take an event that is trying to further mainstream and bring credibility to the sport and just ruin it by saying something so ridiculous.
I
Just
mean,
ruin it.
if regardless if that's how he really feels, that's your opinion. Stop. And this is what I mean. People don't realize, you say things that are hurtful and mindful. Listen, if somebody said that about somebody in his family, he'd be ready to beat him up.
Of course. Of course. Of course. Say that
But
about
you
his
felt,
mama. Say that about his
yeah,
woman. Of course. You
he'd
know?
be ready to beat him up. But now you think it's okay to say that because why? It doesn't make any sense, man.
No. That guy's a low life. Dana White should just completely get rid of him, quite frankly, because he's not a draw. He doesn't draw any money. He's clearly more harm than good. The reputational backlash on the company is going to be millions of dollars. I mean, I think it already is, quite frankly, and especially if the Obamas file that lawsuit. This guy is not worth it. So, good job there, Josh. And I want the world to know your name, so I'm going to keep repeating it. Good job there, Josh. Josh Hockett, Hokit. And you're a low life. You're not the best fighter at all. I grew up on Dan the Beast Severin and Ois Gracie and Ken Shamrock and, the King of the Streets, Marco Ruas, and, men of honor. You're not a man of honor. You're a low life. That's all you are, bro. So that's my take on that. Um, Interesting thing that happened. There was threats against the event where, and these are reports that somebody threatened to actually attack the event since it was happening at the White House, and there were actually protesters too. So, now nothing actually happened, thank God. But here we go again. You bring all those people to a space like that, and you have it outside. That was a major security risk there, Devon.
Yeah, it really was. Was Trump?
You
Where
know,
was Trump? Was Trump sitting in the audience?
front row. In fact, this is the real reason why the event happened at the White House like that. It was really celebrating his 80th birthday. Trump. He's 80 years old. That was his birthday party. That event. You know. So it was what it was in that regard. He tried to mask it like it's a celebration of the country, but the country is not ultimate fighting. So I don't even know what the hell. No, it was your birthday party. Come on, sir. Tell the truth. So thank God that nothing happened in terms of attacking the event. The last thing, and I want to get your take on this, Devon, because this is multi-layered and crazy. Daniel Cormier. He's a former Olympian. He's one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time. Freestyle wrestling is his thing, and Greco-Roman, that's his thing. Just a great, respectable guy. Huge wrestling fan. I don't know if you met Daniel Cormier before, but he's a great dude, man. Great dude.
I don't believe I have, but yeah.
Huge wrestling fan. Huge WWE fan. Um, Before the event, now Cormier won every championship he could win in the UFC. Held multiple titles at the same time. Eventually retired. Then he moved on to broadcasting, and now he's part of the three-man booth in UFC. So when the events happen, he's one of the people that analyzes the fights in real time and stuff like that. And he has MMA podcasts and all that. He's a lovable, great guy, but he was a badass fighter. And he still helps train people. He receives a DM from Eric Trump, of all people. And Daniel Cormier did not know Eric Trump. So this is one of Donald Trump's sons. And Eric Trump proceeds to ask Daniel Cormier if he has any inside info that he can share with Eric Trump. Is there anyone injured? Who do you think is going to win? That type of stuff at first. And Cormier was like, "Well, I can't pick winners. I'm part of the analyst team, so I don't do that. But I think it's going to be great fights, and I'm looking forward to it." He gave him a standard answer. Then Eric Trump bottom lines him. He says, "I'll just cut to the chase. Are any of the fights tomorrow rigged? I've been eyeing the Lopez fight, And I think an upset wouldn't be too unrealistic. And then he puts up $2 signs. So here you are, you low life, again, Eric Trump. You're reaching out to a UFC Hall of Famer, one of the greatest of all time, and an honorable man, an Olympian, a family man, a man that has never cut corners in sport. He is against taking performance enhancing drugs in legitimate sport. Uh, he's built like me. He's not like he's a body guy. He's a guy who, he's a hardworking guy, which is why he was able to be successful. He responded to Eric Trump. No, none of our fights are rigged. And honestly, I am appalled that you would even ask me something like that. So then Daniel Cormier posted the entire conversation on his social media. And he said, I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for bringing this to light. However, I refuse to stay silent. The UFC is a sport that I am deeply passionate about. I will not tolerate this type of insider behavior. Shame on anyone trying to ruin this beautiful event. Now, UFC made him take it down, but he posted it, people screenshotted it, so it's out there. I am concerned, Devon, because it puts Cormier in a bad spot. Number one, this is the son of the President of the United States, the most powerful man in the world. It's one of his kids that you're exposing for trying to break federal law, by the way, because that's insider trading that he's attempting to initiate. So that's completely against the law. It puts Daniel Cormier in a bad spot because on one hand, it ain't like Cormier can go to the FBI and report this guy, which is what you would do in normal situations, because our administration is in the toilet and you can't trust that we're getting proper justice at any point. So Cormier chose to just release it publicly to go on record, knowing that this could possibly put his job in jeopardy, and it likely puts his life in jeopardy. We're talking about dangerous people here. Let's call it what it is. What's your take on all of this stuff here, Devon?
Well, I look at it like this. It's obvious that Eric didn't have any idea what the UFC was all about. And I also feel that because Trump was involved with WWE and this and that, some people are still under the notion that UFC might be like just like pro wrestling where the matches are predetermined. And they're not, of course. Are there situations where somebody might take a dive for more money? Has there been recordings of that? I don't know about in UFC, but I do know in boxing that there has been rumblings of that happening. Whether it be boxing, basketball, shaving points, referees doing it, things like that. So I'm not sure why he would ask someone who is a former UFC champion that question because that's an insult, especially to them in that field. It was an insult to pro wrestlers at one point because no one was coming out saying that, yes, we're predetermined and yes, we're entertainment. The only one that was doing that was Vince. And then the boys started, admitting or what have you that it's predetermined. So that's one thing. I don't know if he got the two confused or not, but definitely a bad move on Eric's part.
Yeah, I think that, first of all, what does it say about a person when you'll reach out to a complete stranger? They don't know each other, and think that
Right.
you can talk like that and try to get somebody to talk to you like that. You're trying to get, like, he's asking to break the law, and he's trying to get Daniel Cormier to engage. That it's serious, bro, because sports can be bet on, and because the money is involved, there are so many federal laws against insider trading, match fixing, and stuff like that. Because now you're talking about a situation where consumers are not, they're not being put in a position where it's fair when you bet. So it creates a big problem. And then you got organized crime getting involved and stuff like that, which, we've known about that in the past in baseball and things like that. So there's reasons why that's not okay and it's very illegal. Now, the dangerousness of Eric Trump, one of the sons of the president of the United States, being the one initiating this and feeling like, because I don't think he's stupid enough to not realize that it's against the law what he did or what he was doing, but feeling like he can do it as if he's above the law. That's how I interpret it. It's scary, man. And I'm very concerned for Daniel Cormier, and I give him a lot of credit for having the gumption to put it out there. I would have done the same thing because you really don't have a choice. You don't want it to seem like it's a setup, and then the FBI comes to you and says, "Why didn't you tell us that you were contacted like this?" You don't want them to spin it. You don't want them to make it seem like you were trying to engage in illegal activity or you were
Right.
driving that kind of foolishness. So, and you have nobody to go to. If you go to Dana White, he might say, just leave it alone. You don't want to cause any trouble. It's going to make the company look bad, make the whole sport look bad, whatever. You got to make a decision as a man, even though this could put your life in danger. And the fact that Daniel Cormier put it out publicly, I just feel bad for the guy, man. I feel real bad for the guy because he's a great guy. He's a great
Yeah.
guy. That wasn't okay, you know. But here we go again, rich and powerful people treating the rest of us like we're disposable. And I guess that's where I'm just disappointed, you know. Very disappointed.
Yeah,
So,
no, I agree. I agree. It's not.
you know,
It should not have been done. I think it was a big mistake on Eric's part.
yeah. And Dana White, I'm telling you, man, you'll lose me forever if Daniel Cormier is punished in any way, shape, or form by you or the company or what have you. You'll lose me forever on that one, bro. I will never support anything you're involved in if you guys try to punish Daniel Cormier. Uh, he didn't do anything wrong putting that out publicly. That was literally the only thing he could do. Because if something happens to him, we have prime suspects. And I'll just leave it at that. We got prime suspects, baby. We know exactly what happened there. He didn't slip on a banana peel.
You mean to tell me he wasn't gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe?
No, no, he wasn't going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. He's not going to, like the poor girl. Did you see that bungee jumping situation where the guys they forgot to actually secure the lady with the harness, and they literally lifted her up in the air and threw her over a cliff. She ended up dying. This just happened
Mm.
within the last couple of days.
Yeah, I've heard
You know
about
what I
it.
mean?
My lady told me
So
about it.
so
Yeah.
yeah. So those guys, they're going to jail forever, I'm sure, because it's there's no question about it. It's just murder. There's no other way to characterize that. You know what I mean? Because of negligence, we assume. I hope they didn't do that on purpose. Uh, but if something like that happens to Daniel Cormier, and I pray to God it doesn't, he didn't initiate that on his own. There's some powerful people that are very upset, clearly, because he exposed their foolishness. And if we were under any other time period in history, we would actually have a government that would investigate this and come down hard on Eric Trump. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen right now. And I'll leave it at that. But overall, I thought the event was a good event. I thought it was quality MMA. I thought it was a great representation of what MMA could be, except for the fact they didn't have any women's matches, which disappointed me. But I never want to see another sporting event at the White House ever again. That's not what that place is for.
I was just about
I
to
don't
say
know,
I,
Devon.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
yeah.
I was shocked when I heard that they were having one.
It's ridiculous. And they were selling merchandise too. The actual administration and Trump. Like, why are you selling merch? You're not supposed to do that. So just very strange stuff there. But it was a good event. It was the best card they could put together. So kudos to everybody involved in that regard. I done stirred up all kinds of trouble now, Devon. Trump's going to call you personally and let you know. You better put me through a table. So I hope you're ready for that conversation. You may have to turn on me now, Devon.
I listen. I couldn't turn on you. I like making fun of you.
Listen, especially when I make those graphics for the episodes, I put those damn those special shoes from the '80s, like you said, you know, where the front part is higher. I made sure I put that in there. Who's gonna do that for you? You know, so you got to keep me around.
Exactly. Oh, I know what I'm doing. Trust me.
That's right. Unbelievable, unbelievable. Well, anyway, what's the best way everyone listening can keep up with you, Devon? Because you got so much going on, and I know a little birdie told me that you're going to be making a special appearance around SummerSlam time as well. What's going on here?
Well, I'm gonna be at the WWE's World. I'm gonna be me and Bubba both will be there signing autographs for the week of SummerSlam. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about getting that going, and also um, I'll be making appearances just about everywhere. I mean, you name it, I'm doing it. I'm tired as all hell, but I'll get through it. I'll get through it. But you can find me on YouTube at Devon Dudley YouTube channel. That's one. The second, you can find me on Twitter at Testify Devon. Again, Testify Devon on Instagram as well. And also Devon Dudley merch. If you want the old school ECW shirts, got a new hat up on there called Testify. You can order it. Just DM us and tell us what you want, and we'll have it shipped right to you.
I love it. I love it. You folks got to jump on that, man. He's got some great merch, and this is exclusive stuff here. So you definitely want to make sure you get in on that.
Also, I'm going to be at Washington State Comic Con this coming Friday. I'm going to be there signing autographs and bringing some of the merchandise there. So come on out. Again, Washington State Comic Con, Seattle, Washington on June 19th. And also, I have the school wrestling show that's going to um, be going on too this coming Saturday in Castleberry. Looking for the information now. I should have had that up already for you, but I'm going to be there with the students from the school. They're going to be showcasing the things that they've learned over the years. It's called Interaction. It's DDA. You can again find it on my Instagram on Testify Devon. You know, all that great stuff. So again, I'm going to be all over the place, signing autographs, taking pictures, and kissing babies, shaking hands. I'm going to be doing all of that there on March 20th. And again, we're looking forward to being able to show the people of Florida uh, what Devon Dudley Academy is all about. So again, it's June 20th. Doors open at 5 p.m. And come on out and check us out. My sons, all three of my sons, Terrence, Terrell, and Matthew, they'll be on the show as well, wrestling along again with a lot of the school students showcasing their stuff.
I love it. I love it. And listen, all of you scary movie actors and actresses, especially the classics, all of you horror people, make sure you go to Devon and scare his ass. Okay? I want you to scare his ass because that's what he deserves at these events as well. And anyone who gets a good picture of Devon sweating bullets when some of these scary movie people roll up on him, I would appreciate seeing that. I'll give you a shout out if you do that. That's right. That's right.
You do
How you like
know
that?
that the only thing that scares me now is The Exorcist. And being that I met Linda Blair, I'm not scared anymore.
Oh yeah, yeah. Big man on the internet talking like he's not scared of Linda Blair. Please, until her head turns around 360 degrees, then we'll find out how scared you are, Jack. All right,
Let me
keep it
put it to
up.
you this way. Let me put it to you this way. If she ever decided to go on the wrestling circuit and I was back on the wrestling circuit and I had to drive with her in the middle of the night, like we normally do when we're wrestling after the show, I probably wouldn't drive by myself with her. But I would make an attempt to drive with her in the daytime. That's all I'm going to say.
Unbelievable. Yeah, we got the truth now. I knew I'd get it out of you. We got the truth now, Mister. I'm not scared anymore. Yeah.
I can watch the movie now, but I don't know about driving with her or being in the dark with her. No way.
Listen, you know what that reminds me of? Your little "I'm not scared anymore." It reminds me when a kid in the '80s would go and take one karate class, and then he gonna come out to the school bully talking about "I'm not scared anymore." Listen, Linda Blair would look you in the eye and say, "Devon, unball your fist, okay? Unball your fist, all right?" And you do it, all right? Don't try to act like you big Mr. Big Shot now, all right? She got your number, Jack. All right,
Listen,
that's right.
If Linda Blair told me to jump, I'd probably say how high. That's all I'm gonna say.
We get the truth. We get the truth here, folks. As always, Duke Loves Rasslin on Facebook or on X, Duke Loves Rasslin at gmail.com. Keep sharing the show. Keep letting us know. We appreciate you, folks. You keep us viral every week, which is always wonderful. Every time Devon opens his mouth, people are running online and they got to talk about it because, hey, you know, you're Devon, as people say, right? You're Devon. So when you speak, everyone is paying attention. It's all high quality stuff. So, can you dig it? Anyway, what's the word of the week this week, big man?
Wow. Well, the word of the week is I'm not scared.
Unball your fist.
Unball your fist, Devon.
We'll see you next week, folks. Be kind to yourselves and be kind to others, please. That's right.
Strictly for the culture every day. Step in style in your unique way. Patterns and colors so defined. All about the perfect line. Be yourself, let your spirit fly. In this fashion, you'll touch the sky. Strictly for the culture, brand so fine. Dress to impress and show your shine. Strictly for the culture, every day. Step in style in your unique way.
Visit www.strictlyfortheculture.ca. Brothers and sisters, I am always talking about staying hydrated. We got to get those B vitamins in. I always walk with something to drink, and I encourage you to do the same thing, especially as we creep into the summertime. Well, I want to let you know that our friends over at Liquid IV have a new energy multiplier. And get this, it's sugar-free, no jitters energy with a hydration-first formula designed to keep you going without the crash. The wonderful flavor that they have right now is lime margarita. And certainly, I couldn't get through Duke Loves Rasslin if I'm crashing. I got to stay up. I got to stay hydrated. Most importantly, got to stay focused. And certainly that's what Liquid IV can do for you, just like it does for me. But don't take my word for it. If you haven't ordered at liquidiv.com before, head over there. You're going to save 20% when you use the promo code REFRESH. REFRESH. Now, if you're a veteran of Liquid IV, meaning that you've partaken in some of the wonderful codes that we've run through the years, then as always, use the promo code Duke Loves Rasslin. You'll save your traditional 10%. I just want everybody to be hydrated. I want you to have safe energy. Most importantly, I want you to have a good time. So please visit liquidiv.com. Use those promo codes, save some money, stay hydrated, and now.
Backstage whispers and the crowds roar. From matching giants to legends of yore. Devon's wisdom and Duke's keen view. Every episode feels like it's brand new. Devon and the Duke bring the Rasslin podcast never